to see everyone. Hey, I see some of my students around. I'm Camille McGill. I'm a faculty director of the Institute for Social Transformation. I'm also a professor of economics and cultural science and policies. Let me start with the land acknowledgement. The land on which we gather is the unceded territory of the Awaswa-speaking Uipi tribe. The Amundsen tribal band, comprised of the descendants of indigenous people taken to Mission Santa Cruz and San Juan Bautista during Spanish colonization of the Central Coast, is today working hard to restore traditional stewardship practices on these lands and heal from the historic background. So we are here to celebrate the Building Belonging program, which is run by the Institute for Social Transformation. At the Institute, we envision a world where the lived experience of the people most impacted by social injustice and environmental crises help shape research priorities. Where research advances social progress over individual academic careers and leads directly to transformation in policy making, local economies, and the health of communities. Where engaging education experiences prepare students to lead real-world change. And that's why we're here today. We're very excited to host the 7th end-of-year celebration and showcase of the Building Belonging program. All that our students and faculty have accomplished in this program. And this afternoon, we'll hear from over 50 of the 63 students that were part of the program this academic year. Some got sick, some maybe were only slightly less than 50, but a lot. And they have been involved in the program, and they will share their contributions to faculty research here at NCSC. Our Dean of Social Sciences, Lee, will say a little bit more about the program. Just a little bit of logistics. We have certificates and graduation courses for all the student fellows. So once you've done with your presentations, Evan and Cameron will will give you the certificates and the courts. And also this year we asked students to submit photos for a photo competition. And the winner will receive a $50 gift certificate, and that will be announced at the end of the event. So do not leave it before the end, you might be the winners. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce Erby Lee, the Interim Dean of Social Sciences and Professor of Statistics.
Thank you, Elena. In the Division of Social Sciences, we know that connecting with faculty and their research is one of the most powerful experiences that students can have during their undergraduate careers. Not only does it give students the opportunity to develop research skills at the cutting edge of new knowledge, but it also allows students to build closer relationships with their professors and envision futures in graduate school or other research-related career paths. All too often, however, students who are first-generation low-income or from historically marginalized backgrounds can be excluded from these kinds of opportunities, even though it can be such a crucial component to making the most of their time in college. The Building Belonging program is designed to dismantle some of these barriers and to give more students the chance to work directly on world-class research projects in the social sciences, expanding their engagement with faculty mentors and fostering a deeper sense of belonging and connection at UC Santa Cruz. Our Building Belonging students are awarded $1,500 scholarships per quarter, making these opportunities paid rather than volunteer, opening them up to students with limited financial means. We want to thank the generous donors who fund this program, which is administered by the Institute for Social Transformation in the Social Sciences Division. Since the program launched in 2020, we've awarded over 660 student scholarships, totaling over $1 million, going directly to students. And this has supported over 200 faculty research projects. Isn't that awesome? This event provides our Building Belonging student fellows an opportunity to share their research with the community. Today we'll hear from 50 or so students who have taken on research projects ranging from the UCSC Chicanx Latinx student activist histories, to banks and their climate engagement, to ecology of ants restoring tropical habitats, to tracking colonial deportations in South America, and so much more. For more information about the students and their research projects, visit the Institute's website at transform.ucsc.edu/student-programs. Please join me in celebrating this incredible work. And now back to Alina, who will be introducing the students who are presenting today.
Right. First, we have Arisbeth Alda, Soleil Gonzalez, Ramsey Ortiz, and the faculty mentor for them is Dennis Park. So come up here, Rams, don't be sure.
Hello, everyone. Our project is called Farm Worker Health and Farm Worker Health, AIM, Climate Change, and Other Component Crises. And then my colleagues, Ben Pierce. I'm Arisbeth. I'm Soleil. And I'm Nancy. So a little bit of context of inequality. So Santa Cruz and Watsonville, while addressed geographically close, represent starkly different urban life worlds. I would say one shaped by life science, coastal influence, and the other by agriculture labor and vulnerabilities to climate-driven crises, exposing deep inequalities and resistance.
We have conducted collaborative methods, including surveys with agricultural workers, local residents to better understand health and environment exposures. We use surveys to collect data and help us identify the health risks affecting farm worker communities with collaborations with Salud para la Gente in Watsonville and Sierra Leone Salinas. This continues to be an ongoing research project and will become more accessible and used as we go on.
So ultimately, we helped expand the Camposano app to improve accessibility for our farm worker communities. And in doing so, we provide real-time information on nearby resources, air quality, pesticide exposure, and working conditions. The app includes our survey data from almost 200 farm worker participants, describing workplace conditions in several different parts of the state, including locally in Salinas, Watsonville, and Santa Cruz. To further our mission and exposure of the app, we held a conference showcasing the development of Camposano while really emphasizing the collaborative creation and partnership with farm workers and other community organizations. We additionally attended the Binational Agriculture Working Group Conference in Mexico City, where we discussed with researchers and government leaders from both California and Mexico to discuss our efforts and learn from each other on ways to better help our farm worker communities. Camposano remains an ongoing project, and we're really excited to continue working on ways to help our farm worker communities stay safe and healthy.
All right, next up is Joel Wells, Elsa Calderon, and their faculty advisor is Nobody Chazan for health. Thank you. All right. Jesus Vargas. Yes, his faculty mentor is Jeffrey Arnold.
Thanks.
Hello everyone, my name is Jesus Vargas. I am a third year looking undergraduate Latino Studies and intensive psychology double major. And yes, I am here to have the privilege to work alongside Professor Jeffrey Gerbig on this project, which is titled Tracking Colonial Deportations in South America. Alright, to give you a little context of what this project is, essentially we're analyzing the colonial origins of deportation within Southern South America, more specifically Uruguay and Argentina, to show how national borders of physical nation were developed and how these projects were basically just under Spanish colonial forces. Additionally, one second. this is around the time when maps and like borders were not officially established. So therefore, the detention centers were essentially what were used to kind of dictate where land was, like in terms of territory, where it started, where it ended, as well as who had access to these lands, so huge amounts. What I essentially was doing was populating a database using transcribed historical documents of monthly visitor logs. So this would look like kind of like that picture right there, where there's just a list of names, and I would go month to month trying to track to see each individual person going through each of the logs, and essentially just trying to see like what is their like journey through the system. Yeah, this was in terms of this. This was my second year on the project, so a little bit of updates in terms of what I was able to find this year. I was able to finish Y. So, basically what that means is like I was assigned like in roughly 15 boxes, and in these boxes the documents are somewhere between 50 to 100 pages long. And so I was able to finish Y and began on Lotus. And overall, we added roughly 13,000 names into the database, which isn't like reflection of how many people are actually within the system, because some of them might be duplicates. That's kind of part of like the research that we still need to figure out after. But it does represent this kind of like the scope as a whole of like how many people were impacted by this. Some more key takeaways. Essentially, this project is showing how indigenous and lower class peoples, as well as those who fight colonial norms, were specifically targeted by the colonial regime, as well as like projects on like overall. This work is essentially trying to humanize the individuals with behind these statistics. A lot of the work is simply looking at like the research itself looks at how like kind of like the history of specific buildings rather than like the people who are going through these systems. So this project is looking at like basically trying to find the storylines behind these people, trying to humanize them, and really just trying to understand like how they got to where they were. Yeah, I would like to thank Professor Gerbig for trusting me with this work, as well as the Building Belonging program, for all your support and allowing me to do research. And let's go. Thank you.
All right, next up is Daniela Ledesma. We have Daniela. Her faculty mentor is Daniela Ledesma.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Daniela and I am in Dr. Deacon of Exclusive now, where I'm talking about I'm working at study. The life event study focuses on the understanding of children aged 4 to 6 months life from the roadmap for understanding of death. There are two main parts to the study. The first being the child interview, where we ask the child what they go to lose fear, right? In a 60 page for understand every. The second part of the interview was the parent-child conversation class, and what we do is we invite the parent and child to watch a short animated film called What is My Step, and it's about his character named Mulan. The death of Louis father is implied. Afterward, we encourage the parent and child to have a conversation about the film, and this is to see if they mention the diet, and if they do, how to be raised. This is an ongoing study, but from what we have so far, we see that the memory of channels to emotion, biological reasoning, we're talking about F, while there's reasons and screening reasons. I contributed to the project as a heritage Spanish speaker. I was able to help our participants, and I worked on transcribing responses for those memory and science, I would say. And I would like to finish off by giving a really thank you to the Building Women program for switching me about the first generation research assistants, and also for encouraging me to be in a research position. I've done a lot in this position, such as how to use RStudio and Ultrix. I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with that, which are software that I probably haven't touched on it. Again, thank you to the program and for everyone who does.
All right, next up we have Lasana Bhattacharya, Shia Robinson. I don't know if this is Esmeralda's here, no? No, graduate students. And they worked with Jean Fox-Tree and Marta Zuniga.
Hello, my name is Lasana and I'm a public science major. And I'm Shania, psychology major, and you want to think I was learn Dr. Fox-Tree and a piece of unique or some people that assisting with the project or less.
Yeah, so starting off, the main question that we want to answer is what is the most effective way to communicate health information, specifically vaccine information, to college age students? And we look to answer this by looking at the usage of formal versus informal language that's within the right here. And then our goal of the study is to overall improve the communication and minimize the spread of misinformation within the healthcare system because formal language in the healthcare system can deal with more complicated and like specific jargon that maybe students don't understand. So with the use of informal language, we hypothesized that it'll be easier to effectively communicate health information and minimize this like misinformation. And throughout this quarter, we have read sources. One to find our skills such as vaccine hesitancy and displaced engagement and frustration. We've also read sources about during COVID or telehealth and social media influence on vaccine information. We also worked on stimuli, so that would be like just choosing what emojis to add in their things or that you take some next one. And we then inserted it into quadrants. And then we are currently collecting participant data and analyzing it too. So we're at 7 participants so far, so we hope to keep getting more. And our key takeaway is to improve trust and receptiveness of vaccine information from healthcare professionals. Thank you.
All right, next up is Colin McConnell and Sabrina Carter. Their faculty mentor is Megan for the win.
So, folks, how about for my next colleague?
My name is Sabrina.
And our specialty tour was making the study psychology department. So our project is on language like EEG. So first off, kind of like what is EEG? It's essentially a device that allows you to measure bowel activity like live. And it basically uses this cap and a bunch of electrodes. The electrodes measure the electrical activity that's happening in collections as well as to your brain. So the only thing I'm trying to do is that we're basically collecting EEG data from subjects who are doing language-based tests. The importance of this is that ideally it would give us a better understanding of the underlying neural mechanisms of language, which is super important to tons of different aspects of society, technology, and health. I think another important thing about EEG specifically is that it gives us super high temporal resolution. So if you look at some of the figures, it's on the scale, like we're collecting data on the scale of milliseconds, which is square time fully, which gives a very fast process.
Our contribution as research assistants to the cognitive neuroscience lab included preparing EEG equipment, putting the electrode cap on the subjects, prepping subjects through the method of experiments, cleaning the EEG equipment, and pre-processing the analyzed EEG data. We also researched new ideas for past studies to create new projects to implement in the future. And some of our key takeaways was summed up by this very insightful and amazing introduction into the world of cognitive neuroscience. And we will never forget the teachings and advice Dr. Bowen has given to us and use them in our future careers in the field. Thank you.
All right, next up, Juan David Alvarez and Elena Bessa, with your faculty mentor is Vicky Ozone.
Go. It's like, go.
Hi, my name is Juan David Alvarez,
I'm Lena Passa.
and our project is isotopic consequences of mycophagy, aka mushroom consumption in wild primates.
Yes.
So, a bit of project overview. Stable isotope analysis is a valuable biochemical tool used to study dietary behavior. And although mushrooms are a critical component of the diet in both humans and many wild animals, mushroom consumption in the mushroom kingdom at large remain isotopically understudied, not only for the archaeological record, but also regarding elusive wildlife. Recently, though, findings from Isa Valley, Tanzania, suggest that mushrooms make up a notable portion of the diet in chimpanzees, and particularly in the yellow beverages in Isa Valley, as you can see from our images.
Regarding the significance of our project, we analyzed 133 wild mushrooms from Isa Valley to fill the vast gap in knowledge on how mushrooms and mushroom consumption present isotoxicity specifically in East Valley. This is the first of its kind mushroom isotope project carried out by UC Santa.
As for our contributions to the project, in the PIMA lab, we prepared all 133 wild mushroom samples for isotope ratio mass spectrometry analysis, and we even got to operate the mass spec in the UCSC Stable Isotope Laboratory, which is an incredible opportunity for an undergraduate student. We also conducted statistical data analysis and visualization of results and are preparing a manuscript for peer-reviewed publication via our senior theses. Stay tuned for those. As for some key takeaways regarding our project, we found that mushrooms eaten by primates in Isa Valley are isotopically highly variable, as you can see from our scatter plot up there, and they can actually biochemically present like meat.
Despite having no previous experience with stable isotopes, primatology, or mythology, we were still able to gain key experience in independent research, start to finish, with an international and highly interdisciplinary research behavior. Here's a bite of this, the ancient scholar.
Before our next speakers, I just want to take a breath and share that I'm really impressed with the scope of the projects. And, this is social sciences division. It's amazing how broad the range of the research project is. Next up is Juliana Duke Echeverry, and her faculty mentor is Justin Prince.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Juliana Duke Echeverry. I will be presenting on antiretroviral shortages in Peru. I was lucky enough to be able to work alongside Justin Prince of the American English Studies program. For our for our project, we decided to focus on antiretroviral shortages. For our context, we noticed that there are reports shortages for the antiretroviral medications and programs that people with HIV. On methods, we conducted a scoping review of scientific literature, including newspaper articles, scientific journals, and judge rulings. Our key takeaways were that patients consistently reported shortages at state hospitals and clinics. Advocates and activists were responding by collecting the NTS or complaints and speaking out to the press. And we found that they were suing the Ministry of Health to compel them to keep antiretrovirals in stock, as well as we found that judges ruled in favor of the activists and lawyers. We also found that voting and protesting at women's offices and that healthcare workers were in fact also reporting decaying infrastructure. Actually, there's a very true record. This is an episode.
All right, next up, Kennedy Thomas, faculty mentor, please Rebecca Manibu. Well, she worked on community engaged scholarship and the future of the field. Next up then, Sharon Kim and Diego Carney. Their faculty mentors are Emily Murray and Flora Lee.
Hi, my name is Sharon,
My name is Diego.
and we had the wonderful opportunity of able to build off research that Dr. Ryan had collected under the People of Color Sustainability Collective
with focus groups that seek to understand undergraduate environmental perceptions.
When?
We are doing this to like a brief issues and so as and this to release the part of surgery and so please wait to see results. We're talking about the sprint Santa Cruz compassion environment and students who will be diving to continue dining.
It wasn't easy gathering folks for these focus groups, so most of our contributions were actually developing outreach strategies to gather student body engagement through newsletters or flyers, such as the ones that I made up there. We are collecting writing snacks outside McHenry. We were able to sit down with students and have real conversations about the movements.
We learned we have difficult to out to students, but due to the regularity skills like academic proficiency. Due to focus here to focus on view on the institution controls the attorneys, like a financial regulations, which focus simulation, which the following regulations corresponds to how living like contribute to notions like acoustics and English vision. That's include questions right to none the issues we have, and it goes correctly to the findings ideal. Yes.
And I had the honor as well as running our gender non-conforming groups, and we got to discuss how binary structures often play a role in the students' brand perception. And we also found that the value of community and connection is integral in career spaces also get translated into environmental sustainability groups when those students are doing work. It's very important that we have more diversity in our student focus groups, and it's a great way to dig deeper into information. We're still currently running them, so if you guys want, the QR codes are functional on those flyers, and we still need more students to apply. However, we are running them currently, and we will be breaking down and looking for similarities in the data during the summertime. So thank you very much to our professors and to our other student team members who are not part of the program but work with us today too.
All right, next up is Alejandro Vasquez Hiker, and faculty mentor is Roberto Cruz.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Alejandro Vasquez Hacker, and my research is on the critical co-design in the EVA program.
So this research was a little bit focused on the methods of the EVERT program, which is a program in the university that conducts social justice projects with community partners using technology as a tool. And so I really wanted to understand how our long-term cycle of co-designing these projects with community partners in the EVERT program goes beyond the slightly more traditional participatory design approach, what those differences are and why it's significant. And the EVERT program challenges research that can be extracted with community partners by the structure with students governing the program, being in leadership decisions, making leadership positions and making decisions, using our positionality as leverage to craft projects that are social justice oriented, that are also made by the community members, and they also have decision-making opportunities within the project, decision-making opportunities. And my contributions were a consensus workshop within the EVERT program, developing that structure side, and our democratic leadership. And on the more academic side, working on a white paper with Roberto on governance and labor analysis on our co-design structure with community partners. And with that white paper, I add the fellow perspective on what it's like to be a student, to enter these spaces and work with the community partners in a way that is considerate of sustaining that project, sustaining that partnership, and making sure that whatever workshop we do actually impacts the community in a way that is genuinely, impactful for them, useful for them. It won't go away after the project's over, but also how do we
continue these projects to be year-round instead of constrained by the quarter system. And yeah, that's a little bit of the key takeaways, is that in terms of the limits, the quarter system seems to be a huge barrier in terms of making projects with community partners long-term and sustainable, because real life doesn't exist on a quarter system, unfortunately, or actually fortunately. As well as with examining the structure within the EVERT program and like the student side of it, seeing how the EVERT program is really an opportunity for a lot of students who are typically underserved in like traditional educational spaces, for them to not only have professional development but be leaders in this community, and majority of these people being women, low income, first gen, and married merchant of some type of way. And yeah, just creating the space for ourselves to develop these skills, but also leveraging the positionality of being at a university to work with, to really help understand, benefit them in whatever way that they need. And then on the left here, your left, my right, something like that. It's just a list of a couple of partners that we're working with this year. Gateways is a project where we go into the Western Coast Jail Roundtree facility, teach tech classes. We work with Project Windows. We work with Salinas, an inclusive economic development initiative, and Senderos. And we hope to continue these partnerships year round.
So,
Okay, next up is Taina Traore, Catalina Juazano, their faculty mentors, co-trainers.
Hi everyone, my name is Taina. I'm a computer science major and legal studies minor. And I'm Catalina, and I'm a environmental studies major in economics. And through this year, we have worked on a project ran by Scott Wenton, Louis Samir, and Joe Melton for creating a goal data zone. So what are peatlands? Peatlands are wetland ecosystems that are waterlogged, which instead of causing organic matter to decompose, it builds up over centuries, creating peat moss and storing large amounts of carbon. The estimated coverage of peatlands is approximately 3% of Earth's land, yet they store more carbon than forests.
And so that's why we need peat to base. So peat to base is a comprehensive global database spanning of, I think we probably have over 600,000 peat depth measurements, but when we started we had around 200,000. And so it provides critical data on peat depth, soil carbon, and its site characteristics. And so this kind of plays a vital role in understanding carbon stock measurements. And so our job basically is we address severe fragmentation when it comes to peat. And we do that by consolidating scientific records and scientific papers into peat database, which is an open source resource.
Yeah, and so right behind us, we had a global distribution of peat database points. And as you can see, the purple points are what they had before Typeman started. And then the green points are what was added once we had started. That's a combination of Taima, Louis, and I's work. And we primarily worked in areas such as Australia, Brazil, and Indonesia, where peat research is less not being prioritized. But yeah, that's the work that we did. Thank you.
All right, next up is Diana Burgos.
Yeah, wait.
For our faculty mentors, they have different ratio of mentors per student here. Valerie Cortez, Michelle Calvin, Dominique Brexit.
So
Hi, my name is Diane Burgos. I'm an ICT biology undergraduate student in the Artes lab, and my project was determining specialization at Sierra and this class 2014 Keiko Tuesday. So first some background. Osteoarthritis is something that affects the gut and it's one of the leading causes for diarrhea in children. So around 90% of young children have been infected with osteoarthritis. Probably all of you in this room have had it at one point, and so it's super widespread, and there's no vaccine, and it's also very understudied. So SVRN is a protein that was basically identified to be a recycling osteoarthritis. And this just means that the virus binds to this molecule to gain entry into a host cell. And this is important because it helps us figure out more about the biological mechanisms of osteoarthritis. So what I did for this project was harvest two different cell types, A2 and the plasmon for T cells, which is shown to the right. And both of these cells are from the large intestine, and then I compared the expression of that CRE. And the key takeaways from the project is that we can detect SVRN and keep the T cells and plasmon T cells. As you can see in the graph, the percentage of FCR other cells was higher in KBO2s than in plasmon for T cells. So thank you to the Building Colony program and was something aimed to protest them.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Carol Torres. He is faculty mentor student K.
See what is.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Carol Torres. I am a student on behalf of the Center for Labor Community. I will be calling it the CLC for time state, and so let's just jump right into it. So the coffee shop worker study survey, we wanted to understand the experiences of baristas by asking questions related to their working conditions, their work relationships, their store policies, and their attitudes towards unionization. And this purpose / research question for the study came about from the collaboration between the CLC and the UFCW union. So they were curious about baristas here in Santa Cruz, and we said, okay, figure that out. So how we did that is we have a team made up of myself, other CLC interns. I see one of them literally led by Dr. Bromita Hamilton, CBK over here, and also Ms. Soch on 39 class, as well as extra Christian Mason. And so here I have a visual of the 8 different regions and the 10 different coffee companies, as well as the 72 locations that we have fit up. Not all of them quite yet, but more than half have done it by this point. And so locations like 11-hour coffee might go to Starbucks or coffee roasters. Essentially, the team goes in. We do not have any badge. No, this is two research team. We just go as our usual selves, and we go up to them and we ask, hey, are you interested in a compensated study? Survey, $30 gift card for 30 minutes of your time. It's always almost a yes. So we have the flyer, they fill out a project survey, and from there we're still, getting participants, analyzing findings. But essentially what we aim to take away from the study is how you can inform local policy, and as well as future unionization campaigns, as generally baristas have responded positively, like they have a positive attitude towards unionizing, or just generally neutral. And yeah, that's like that. That's it. Thank you.
All right, next up are Helen Hernandez and Juan Nadine, faculty mentor at Raising Lodge.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hannah. I'm a fourth-year computer science major. And my name is Belen. I'm a third-year LEOS to Scholarship and Education Faculty of Justice. And our project is about amplifying underrepresented voices and histories when favors of great thought. And I'm not just a doctor, the education department, and I'm the director of the history of space project, which we're not have like so it's I most of my work with HTTP this year has been the copy the build the clinical missions on my Butts and Voices page. And the goal is to create a web page that will post on the Butts travel ban diverse interviews, which will give the agency to tell their own histories and stories, as well as provide additional material for K-12 educators to help bridge the gap in indigenous knowledge in K-12 education. Working on this, I met with faculty member Daisy Murray, Carolyn Rodriguez, who is an all in tribal band member, UCLA, to work together to design the page, and then interviewers and create a list of themes that educators could use along with the interviews. There's a learning a lot about centering community voices and how small design details can actually matter a lot and be culturally sensitive to the people we're working with. Always putting their voices first. And it was nice to be able to implement what I'm learning through my classes, through the Everett program, their engaging education. Here, like that's stuff. Yeah, thank you.
And then while Hannah worked on that, I worked on a separate part alongside the History and Service project, which is creating a curriculum that involves teaching the 1930s U.S. deportations to K-12 multilingual learners. So essentially, our work was to develop a lesson plan teaching the 1930s deportations, which is very not taught often in schools. And not only is it not often taught, but multilingual learners come into these spaces and they experience difficulty being in a classroom setting as well. So the importance behind our project was to create an inclusive catered curriculum towards them, but also combining them into classroom spaces and avoiding that separation between single language speakers and multilingual speakers. And one of our goals was also to inspire curiosity and create a sense of action. So working alongside Daisy as well with Emily Howe, a lot of my work was on the supportive end. I did a lot of handout creation, workshop participation, the workshops in Santa Cruz County and Monterey. And I did a lot of research in curriculum and sources, and also aided in developing lesson plans. While all the things I learned were very practical skills, I also came to the conclusion that having empathy when we're teaching, especially things that are of sensitive nature, is really important. It's important to address them with respect and keep in mind the community we're teaching to and their skills. And thank you so much.
The one on the bottom left is to the Critical Missions website. The Ombuds and Voices page will be up hopefully soon, but stay tuned for that.
And if you're interested in perhaps teaching your lesson about the 1930s deportation, we have all the public resources on the right QR code. See?
All right, next up we have Larissa Carthy Douglas and Christine Shu. And your faculty mentor is Danny Brown.
Probably when Christine's going to be about sciences, she's not out students, but shout out, she's built so much during this project. And so for our survey, we looked at situations between psychobiological stress responses and the campus use. And since February, we recruited 81 CSE students. Our report using campus 3 more times a week. So keep that in mind for data with the measured users. And our data approach to accuracy still in motion. So here's all see it's like our preliminary. But participants first
We had a baseline survey, which got bathroom condition, their history of substance use, mental health, emotional regulation, and they have been sent out for 30 weeks now at night series 8 p.m., which are based in pretty straightforward data checklist formats. They have got that day's events, like whether they had arguments, their current emotions, like intensity, and the more detailed portion of substance use, of course, as well. And so, although again they are preliminary, we are pretty excited about results so far for student made this version about how those daily canvases relate to emotional sensitivity to stress. And read-on students typically report lower negative emotions when they are currently using Canvas, which any learner would expect. However, this was not the case when using type argument or demanding day. I see this in the graphs, so in the two in the top upper right, you see that there's a rise in negative emotion on days students had argument, and this effect was amplified or increased more on days when they had argument that they were essentially referring using Canvas. And results are in for daily plans, where so far theorizing that this may be related to using Canvas as a means of coping and with daily stress. And then this applies our several actually may be more emotionally reactive on days they're actually using, And when it comes to loneliness, which are the two graphs on the bottom left there, we see that students normally don't show change in their reported loneliness when they had argument, but on days that they had argument and that they were currently using Canvas, they actually reported a spike in loneliness. And so this could imply using Canvas as a means of coping may have potential to backfire and could actually lead to greater loneliness or emotions on days that are already stressful, so they can amplify 12 emotions. But yeah, we're looking forward to exploring more. So thank you.
All right. Next up is Caitlin Armstrong to share a word while to Ocampo. Your faculty mentor is Liv Clovers.
Hello, I'm Caitlin.
I'm on the bill.
I'm sure I'm here. And we're representing the Interpret Lab, which focuses on bilingual language processing using EEG and eye tracking. Although there's robust research for psycholinguistics in English, specific research on bilingualism is severely underrepresented, despite how common it is across the world. The goal of our lab is to increase inclusivity of peoples and languages by expanding the current scope of research and improving current data. We use EEG to temporally track electrical activity in the brain while reading or listening to sentences. And we use eye tracking to look at behavior and language processing in the brain. This year, we worked on developing bilingual stability for a current Chinese-English experiment that focused on implicit language processing. We've also been working on developing both auditory and visual stimuli for future Spanish-English experiments that will be focusing more on code switching. Throughout this process, we aim to avoid any possible confounds or errors that can affect the data collection process and reviewable future results. We also try to ensure that the language we're using our stimuli is as accessible and as dialectically accurate for our specific participant pool.
As research assistants, one of our major responsibilities is running the experiment, so the necessary equipment such as EEG, eye tracking, and computer must be correctly calibrated and monitored for accuracy measurements throughout the experiment. So, and following with data collection, we organize and quantify the collected raw data, and we aim for exclusion of the invalid data and preservation of the recognizable pattern for
for graduate students and the principal investigator for further analysis. Thank you so much.
All right, next up is Alaya Aquino. Do we have Alaya? Pretty. Oh, this one's video.
How's your pouring up?
Miss Amaya Theo, I am a fourth year intensive psychology and cognitive science double major, and I've been working with Dr. Hannah on a project that aims to determine if people who are more sensitive to contamination unconsciously notice disgusting images more quickly. Based on past literature, we know that people with obsessive compulsive traits exhibit heightened sensitivity to contamination, and that disgust-related attentional biases may contribute to this, which happen unconsciously. To measure unconscious bias, we use breaking continuous flash suppression, which is a binocular rivalry technique where your dominant eye is presented with a flashing pattern of colors called a mondrian, and your non-dominant eye views a stimulus. The idea is that these two images are overlaid on top of each other, and that the stimulus is initially invisible until it breaks into your conscious awareness. And we measured how long it takes for people to experience this breakthrough. We recruited 46 undergrads who viewed, discussed, and stayed in buildings in the CFS task. Examples of stimuli are here on the right, with Penn State referring to the clean version of the discussed image. We plan to correlate breakthroughs to various trait measures, including the obsessive compulsive inventory and the discussed propensity and sensitivity scale. This study is a part two to a pilot I conducted last year, in which we did not have buildings, just Penn State and discussed, which our end state is what we call our control images. Because this pilot study found no difference in breakthrough time between discussed and control stimuli, among people with high OC and or discuss sensitivity, we considered that our stimuli weren't different enough from each other. So we created a complete new control, which are buildings, and we hope that these buildings are affectively neutral, in other words, boring to participants. I'm currently in the data analysis phase, and I hope to have results to share soon. And I'll end with a big thank you to Dr. Hannah Ryla, my lab mates, and of course, Building Belonging for the opportunity to conduct this research. Their support has really made me realize that I want to pursue a career in research. So thank you so much, everyone.
All right. Next up, Eva Helmont and Jacob Chandri. Their faculty mentor is Leisha.
Hi everyone, I'm Ava Helmold. I'm an intensive psychology and global community health double here at UCSC. My research project is the What Could UCSC Be by 2050? Hashtag UCSC by 2050 is a civic listening project. It's our pilot project that's using deliberative democracy, specifically open source software, AI, and in-person dialogues to imagine the future of UCSC by 2050. We're inspired by the work of V Taiwan and Right Line V Laboria Audrey Tong. V Taiwan has a 4-part process: proposal, opinion, reflection, and legislation. As for my contribution, I designed our website, which you can view through that blue QR code in the circle, as well as all graphic assets as posters, half sheets. We've been organizing public events and analyzing data through our poll. And as we've been analyzing the data, we started to do visual sense making, as you can see through figure 2 up on screen. So why are we doing this project right now? This project is coming at a time in which our democracies are effectively broken, and we're experiencing democratic backsliding on a local, national, and global scale. At a time when it feels like we're losing our grip on the narratives on AI, voting rights, and the planet, deliberative democracy is key. So together, we are building and nurturing a future where the entire community gets to participate in shaping decisions that affect our lives. So as for our early sense making of the data, as of May 12th, there are 14,324 votes on the statements that have been submitted. 302 people at UCSC have voted, and 239 statements were submitted. There were consensus agree statements, consensus disagree statements, and areas of uncertainty in the poll. An example of a consensus agree statement that came up quite frequently was, this is just an example of a consensus agree statement, is no student should have to wait weeks to access mental health services on campus. Of the 97 people that voted, 91% said agree. A consensus disagree statement from the poll is research should be prioritized over undergraduate teaching. Of the 97 people that voted, 62% said agree. These are just some examples of consensus agree and disagree statements. And then as for areas of uncertainty in the poll that have emerged so far, a statement is tuition paid by students at Silicon Valley campus should be spent at least 90% on the programs at Silicon Valley campus. Of the 62 people that voted on the statement, 54% of people said pass. So this means that this is an area of uncertainty for the people that are voting on the poll. So as for my specific contribution as a Civic Tech Fellow, I used a combination of thematic analysis, coding, and content analysis to see emerging themes because the poll is still open, you can still vote. So we're in that early sense-making phase as we decide future directions of the poll and where we decide to take the project. As for my key takeaways, I'm really excited to see how this project continues to evolve as we continue to survey and decide where to take this pilot. As I mentioned, you can scan the blue QR code to visit the poll itself, or scan the white and black QR code to see actual interactive figures in which you can see my actual multi-coding thematic analysis, in which there's multiple different figures in which you can click into like nested circles and see the sub-themes, some of which include divestment, AI, diversity, equity, inclusion, transportation. These are all themes that the campus is focusing on and voicing their concerns about. So together, through this project and through this work, we can shape the future of the CSC. Thank you.
All right, next up is AJ Scott, his faculty member, please kind of watch our that seat.
Really beat up. Hi everyone, my name's AJ. I'm a second year MC on Overture, and I'm here to talk about a position called Hustle Profiting that I got to help out with in Professor Analytics. So, a little background information about California Central Coast and its farming community. This area is often called the salad bowl of the U.S. and produces a huge portion of the nation's produce. But it also struggles to get rid of the effects of climate change, drought, and water contamination. And one promising solution to that is the sequoia crops. The sequoia crops are basically crops that are grown off-season that are non-cash crops that have been shown to really improve soil health. Cover crops can help reduce nitrate pollution, improve soil structure, and support long-term farm productivity. However, a lot of farmers are hesitant to use that because of concerns over water usage. So the key goal of this project is really to understand how various cover cropping techniques affect water use, nitrogen cycling, soil moisture, among other factors of soil input. And the goal of the study involves looking at different elements of soil health and a controlled trial at the UCSC farm, as well as about 20 farms in this region. This project was actually sponsored by the USDA, so it's gonna last 3 years long. But we're comparing different planting time with species differences like beans, physiology, crops, as well as harvesting methods. And as a lab fellow, I got to be in the field and help out with soil collection, but also with soil processing lab. We're testing components like soil moisture, enzyme activity, nitrogen content, and microbial biomass in the soil. And all of the project is so underway. The hope is for the findings to really help develop more targeted and efficient farming strategies for local farmers that conserve water, but at the same time maintain farm productivity and also improve water quality. And I just want to thank the building club on this project and everybody in the Waterhouse Lab for doing this on CE. It's been amazing getting to do actual lab research and seeing science in practice.
All right, next one is Cynthia Lopez Fernandez, faculty mentors area regional.
Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia Lopez Fernandez. I'm a social and environmental studies major, and I worked alongside in regional from the social agency companies. I'll be presenting on a topic that was original, and I presented on at a human rights conference this past month. We explored the role of political education and understanding how actors, communities, and rights utilize pedagogies and encampment to advocate for human rights. Honduras is the fifth country in the world with the most environmental defenders killed. Among these numbers are Berta Cáceres and Juan Lopez, and both Berta and Juan were assassinated for protecting the rivers and ran against the Shark Corporation. Their stories are important because they show us ways in which we can fight back in our own communities against human rights violations. I took part in creating a digital database, doing field work, writing literature reviews, and translating speeches and social media archives from Honduran activists and organizations. I was able to visit Honduras this past March to attend Berto's 10th commemoration, attend marches, and speak to community members and activists. There I saw various expressions of other education, such as art, music, plays, and radio series, taking part in both physical and virtual encampments. I listened to a radio series where community members narrate the first damage storage resistance and the grounds for power. The community built a physical encampment, but they also created a virtual encampment with that radio series. In virtual space, that radio series serves as a permanent, settled space of resistance within virtual realities. All of these examples of overturning spaces highlight the need for virtual and physical encampments to fight back against extractivist corporations and to resist a society led by a worldview dominated by capitalism, racism, and militarism. Extractivist corporations lie and advertise jobs and development while actively destroying people's homes, lands, and the right to stay. This is where challenging the narrative comes in. People are forced out and led to migration, where they encounter dangerous conditions and false narratives. We must fight back against constructive society and challenge the dominant narrative while continuing to build solidarity amongst us. A big thank you to the Building Blogging Fellowship and Professor Amy Artina for allowing me to be in this research and for all of the learnings that I'll take with me. Thank you.
All right, next up is Emma Yamamoto Weston, faculty mentor is Politan.
Hi, my name is Emma Yamamoto Weston, and I'll be presenting my project, Building a Laboratory Mathematics Framework for Black Disabled Youth, led by Professor Politan and the Education Touring. So the project is still in progress, and we're in year one of a 3-year plan that's outlined in that project right there. So this year is focused on career development. The primary aim of the project is to use student voices to construct a coaching framework for K-12 mathematics teachers. So what we mean by coaching framework is essentially to create a source that teachers can use now and in the future to reference to show them how to help support Black disabled students in intersectional justice-oriented learning. This is important because there are many systemic and institutionalized forces working against Black disabled students, limiting their opportunities and misrepresenting their needs in the education system. We specify Black disabled students because we seek to acknowledge the ways in which racism and ableism work in tandem to uniquely oppress students with intersecting identities. One of the core tenets of our project is having a youth-centered approach. So that means we center student voices by taking them on as co-researchers who will help us identify and address the disparities in the current education system. I've helped contribute to this process by volunteering at Oakland Public High Schools, one being Oakland Tech and the other being Skyline, to potentially identify youth co-researchers that we might recruit onto our team and build trusting relationships with them in the process. I've also been a co-designer and will co-facilitate the youth pre-sessions that will help prepare the students for focus groups, interviews, and presentations that will take finding data care. And I've also contributed to a scoping literature review that regards the usage of identity first versus person first language in disability studies and in oral project. I've gained a lot of experience working on a multi-institution research team with a lot of different people at various levels of professional experience. And I've also gained a lot of interest in advocacy, which has invited me into work that I might be doing in the future. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity and I'm curious to watch this project as it continues. Thank you.
Next up is Max Casting. His faculty mentor is a great stand-up.
Hello, I worked with Grace Stedman on shareholder privacy and wage stagnation. So the main goal of our project is to examine why wages have been largely stagnant since the 1970s, despite overall economic growth during that same period. One explanation for this is the rise in shareholder primacy, which is the idea that companies prioritize profits and charge to shareholders over the well-being of workers' wages. So one example of this is the decline in representation, which you can see on the right. In 1983, almost 1 in 4 Americans were represented by unions. That same number today, 1 in 10. So as union coverage declines, workers lose their bargaining power. Underneath this map of states, she also have enacted right-to-work laws. Now, right-to-work may sound positive, but somewhat counterintuitive. It allows workers to benefit from union negotiated contracts without actually paying union dues. Yeah, they sound good, but if you don't require workers to pay union fees, then unions are financially weakened, which in the long run hurts their bargaining power once again. The last piece I looked at was workers' depositions. So as issues consolidate, firms face fewer competition for labor, which allows them to further accelerate wage suppression. Now, my role in this project was to collect union data or union representation data by industry, and then dispersion acquisition data by insured county. We're still waiting for the final results, partly because wage data that we need to run the final regressions is confidential information at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So my professor has to coordinate with someone like federal government, Washington, D.C. to get access to that data. But one set's with me, hopefully it sheds light on what factors sway wage separation. Thank you.
Next up is Haja Surya, Santa Cruz. How did I do?
That's it. Faculty mentor is Alonso Villacol.
Hi, my name is Ajay. I'm a fourth year computer science major with academics minor, and my faculty member was in Salazar Villacorta. And our project was the bank analysis needs to study business. So our goal was to study the balance sheets of banks using the Federal Reserve flow for any data. So the main issue with this data is that it's a lot of just tables and CSVs, which we can't really analyze little trends on it. So my goal was to help visualize this data. As you see the two example graphs over there. I was going to choose how to do this, but I chose I'm going to do it in Python, Pandas, and Podlet. So I built a leverage graph, and that with distribution graph, there's a lot more equity and assets. But the key takeaway from here is that as the leverage spike high, it's really risky for the macroeconomic economy, and by trying to analyze some of these trends with different variables, we can estimate. We can try to predict if there's a recession or economic instability. Our next work is going to be continue to make one of these graphs and actually try to analyze some of them. As right now we just need to visualize them so the professors and so other teammates can start trying to figure out some trends and hopefully get a publication with this. Thank you.
Next up is Alex Lee and Juan Bermudez Logrado. Their faculty members, Gustavo Mato.
Hi, good to see you local morning here. My sharper on the years Medrano. He was with us in the summit project, but unfortunately had to sign off because of some issues with his family. He did contribute some major contributions to our project, which I'll bring up the next slide. We were mentored by my mentor, Kusen Leotard from the Center of Agroecology, and then they just also partnered UCA. Our title is going to be Agroecology and Technologies for Water Management. The question we were trying to answer is, how do farmers, how do these rural communities, our agricultural communities in California benefit from the growth and improvement of technology? And what we did and what I contributed was I created a website that aggregated the existing irrigation solutions, the DIY non-proprietary solutions that you're not going to be paying some like big corporate company, $1,000 and then paying like $200 a year to maintain it and have a tech, and something we can do ourselves and something we can actually see increase accessibility to technology to make our farms smarter but still keeping our farmers connected. This is about us, not just about these companies. And something else is also coming up that I'm excited about is after we did some distribution uniformity testing, which is we take samples across the blackberry farms, and then we look, hey, is irrigation at this place outputting the same amount per second, same liters per second as the irrigation over there. And we're going to have a demo site for that. We're going to have little panels. If you guys have been to the UCSC farms, which I'm sure Solitude has, they get there. And what I learned was the importance of reduced information and accessibility to data and information for increasing, what's it called? Give me a moment here. So we have to reduce friction in order to create opportunities and accessibility for generally disadvantaged. And I mean, we're looking at people that are the working class, we're looking at people that are lower, maybe they could be impoverished. And when things are going to be held by corporations, the John Deere tractors. Can I just get hands here in the crowd for anybody that has family, any loved ones in agricultural fields, ecology, think like Central Valley, yep, a lot of you. And when we look at these people, and I'm going to be honest, corporations do take advantage of us, right? We have them, they exploit farmers, they exploit Americans. And if you speculative right there in the center, there's going to be a link to the website, aggregates it. If you guys are friends with you, I'd love for you guys to just take a look at it, please. Over there on the left, we have an example of one of the moisture sensors. So you have a little app on your phone, and you can be like, hey, it's the soil moisture code for here. What is the, temperature? And, do I need to water my plants today? Do I not have to? And also on the bottom right, since I already introduced myself, I just took the artistic liberty to forget to put my name there, but just some investment there for me. And other than that, I think that's gonna be it. You guys have, if you guys haven't presented yet, you guys will have a good presentation. I can do, you guys did great. So, yeah, I'm gonna go.
Next up are Daniel Ward Colfilson, Christian Jimenez, Anik Patan, Jorgen Lavetti, who's not here, he's in Italy, and Angelica Garcia. This is my team. Everybody. 2 minutes.
Class.
I'm Christian Jimenez, I'm a global econ major. My name is Cole Bilson, I'm Tim in econ.
My name is Daniel Ward, I'm a computer science major.
My name is Anik Pathan, I'm a legal studies and computer engineering major.
I'm Angelica Garcia. I'm from Economics.
My name is Garcia, and I'm a scientific accounts.
Because it's quite a lot of us, we thought it would be easier if just one person presents it. So just because I'm talking doesn't mean no one else, everyone else did work as well. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Christian, and I'm excited to show the work that we did. The joint team, it was CS team and econ team. So we were trying to answer a rather complicated question. Does legislative activity actually predict agricultural performance, or does it simply respond to it? Before we can even approach the economics of that question, we had a very large logistical problem ahead of us. Historically, when anyone was trying to study this relationship, they had to deal with an incredibly messy and disconnected data sets. So our CS team stepped in to build a robust data pipeline. They cleaned and standardized USDA data sets to create a fully compiled and queryable master data set spanning from 1975 to 2024. With that powerful foundation in place, the economics team was able to analyze the relationship between state-level legislative activity and agricultural output, and what we found was a fascinating two-way street. First, legislative intensity does have predictive power on future sales, but it comes with diminishing returns. When the policy tension becomes excessive, it creates regulatory congestion and uncertainty, which can actually lower sectoral performance. Second, we looked at the reverse dynamic and found that policymakers 100% absolutely respond to economic shocks, but not immediately. It takes time for them to interpret those economic signals, and it's further delayed by institutional friction and lobbying. Ultimately, while our work highlights this two-way relationship, the true highlight of our project is the foundation we've built. By transforming decades of disconnected data into a streamlined tool, we've essentially paved the way for future research into how policy and agriculture interact. Thank you.
All right, next up, Saiti Adiraju, Hallie Boyd, and the faculty mentors, Michael Lloyd.
Hello everyone, I'm Sanity and I'll also be presenting on behalf of Holly, who is in the Global Program here this year as well, I'm playing this spot. And yeah, I'm following the agricultural trend we have going right now. So the project that we are currently working on in the lab is quite interesting. We are looking at intercropping between basically using perennial native grasses and then in between vegetable beds to try to see does this improve soil health compared to monocrop plots that we generally see. So you can see that picture up there. We have an experimental plot at the UC farm, and we have 5 rows of treatment, which means we have the 2 rows of two species of native grasses, and then you can see the kale next to it growing side by side. So we have 5 treatment and 5 control, and then we collect a variety of measurements, things like soil moisture, water potential, bulk density. Those are some of the few that we're collecting and to see the comparison between treatment and control. So this is a 2-year-long project. We just finished our first crop cycle, which is kale up there. You can see us harvesting and taking some measurements from it. And so there's 3 more crop cycles to go, tomatoes to the summer, and then now for fall, winter time. So very preliminary, but interesting in the sense that I'm excited to see what happens in the next 2 years, especially as the native grasses establish themselves more and their roots get deeper and just generally not competing with the plants that we have growing. So I'd like to extend a big thank you to Building Belonging for funding this research. I have learned so much. I have done things like fieldwork on the farm, whether it's weeding or harvesting the kale, but also things like collecting fruit samples and analyzing them in the lab, and also some data analysis work. That's one example of months of soil moisture data from all the different plots. So it's a really nice full circle research experience. So I really enjoyed to kind of work in every facet of this project. So also a big thank you to Danny, who is my mentor and has guided me through this research, and also Dr. Michael Lloyd, who is the faculty advisor for this project. Thank you so much.
All right, next up is Annie Blevins and Laura Brockett. They're faculty members doing right to you.
Video.
That's the video.
Okay, and I've been assisting Annie in her project for music thesis, working alongside our on-faculty advisor, Jay Reddy. I am a third year anthropology there, psychology double major, and
So my project that Karen has been helping with is called Idealizing the Thick Fracture Predictability Using Glass. So raw material selectivity is a fundamental marker of stone tool manufacture present even in the earliest archaeological assemblages, but there's kind of a blind spot in archaeologists' understanding of basic raw material properties. And the term raw material itself remains kind of loosely defined. A lot of things can make a raw material high quality. Things like fracture predictability, durability of edge, sharpness of cutting edge, even aesthetic qualities. So this research focuses on quantifying fracture predictability, or also described as the degree to which the flaking outcome can be predicted for a specific type of lithic raw material. Mapping with high fracture predictability materials results in very efficient toolkits. So to do this, to directly compare fracture predictability between different raw materials, we propose using an idealized material to calculate an idealized coefficient of predictability. 5 centimeter soda lime glass cubes with an edge angle of 70 degrees were manufactured by a professional glass blower in Berkeley using a custom graphite mold. And an Instron machine was used to produce compression force for fracture, and custom fixtures were designed and manufactured to hold a carbon steel nail bit as the percussor and to hold the glass subcubes during flake production. The lower fixture is angled downward at 10 degrees, and it's designed to put no stress on the edge being flaked. Platform depth is held consistent at 10 millimeters. After establishing an idealized baseline of glass, we can use the same methodology to assess the predictability of other raw materials. Archaeological raw materials can be manufactured into identical subcubes using the lapidary slab saw. By producing a large sample of experimental flakes from these subcubes using identical methods as those used on the glass. As such, this methodology can be used to analyze any archaeological assemblage throughout time and space. I'm grateful for the building the logging program. It's helped me afford being able to go back to Hubifora to conduct research this summer.
Yeah, like Annie, this money that the building belonging has allowed me to come into has funded my ability to go to Spain this summer so that I'm able to conduct further research like Annie and get field school experience and experience in the field. I've really enjoyed my time working for Jay and helping Annie in this project.
Hello, my name is Mateo Fernandez. I use
And to the target also. Yeah,
Hello, my name is Mateo Fernandez. I use he, they pronouns, and I'm a critical race and ethnic studies major. I worked with Professor Arshali through the education department, who also uses he, him, and Sam, who's a grad student, who also uses he, him, on the Art of Knowing project. So the Art of Knowing is a science curriculum rooted in Indigenous Muslim story work. The educators really use the Tale of Pi, other texts, art, discussions to work through different ways of knowing and explore those with 3rd through 6th grade students at a Muslim Montessori school. I think that's where the importance of this comes in, is the fact that it's a science curriculum, because STEM fields are often really exclusive of Indigenous ways of knowing. And so it has us kind of really consider how do we come to know the world. So the ways in which I contributed was watching videos of these lessons and just taking note of the times that students use different ways of knowing to rationalize their thinking and exchange knowledge, and the ways in which students then also become teachers and were able to take up space in that way
and kind of run the classroom a little bit. So I think some key takeaways, even though we didn't finish the project, so there weren't any like results, but I think the interesting thing to see was how the way that students take up space differently in a Muslim Montessori school versus like Western public schools in my experience. And just seeing how, because they all grew up together and are part of the same like religious community, it's more of like a family, like siblings situation, and it's pretty interesting. And obviously I loved getting to know my mentors, and everyone was so accommodating for me with my disabilities. So I kind of realized that research doesn't have to be evil and inaccessible. So yeah, thank you.
Right, next up is Alexander Wharton Carrilla, faculty mentor is Audrey Lynn.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. Well, first of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Alexander Martin Carrillo. I'm a fourth year biology major here at UC Santa Cruz. And my PI is Audrey Lynn, who works in the microbiology and environmental toxicology department. So I guess we wanted to give you guys a quick overview on what EET is. EET is a condition associated with chronic inflammation and intestinal permeability that could potentially lead to stunting and poor nutrient absorption. Developing children in low-income areas such as Bangladesh are the most affected in terms of growth outcomes such as height, weight, and cognitive development as well. Legumes and nuts are high in fiber. The consumption was hypothesized to be associated with reductions in intestinal permeability and inflammation in Bangladeshi 28-month-olds. The reason we chose legumes and nuts in this case was because based on prior research, we saw that similar foods that had a high dose of fiber was beneficial when it came to AET. Moving on to our methods, we use FFQ data, which stands for Food Frequency Questionnaire, in addition to analyzing biomarkers from urine and fecal samples. We also interpreted biomarker results connected the changes seen with physiological mechanisms of gut permeability with existing literature. Generalized linear models were created to compare biomarker concentrations between children who consumed legumes and nuts versus those who didn't. And so, what were the results? Legume and nut consumption was found to be associated with differences in biomarkers of gut permeability. Significant results with the corresponding p-value of less than 0.05 were found for the biomarker called mannitol. However, it is important to outline that for one of our biomarkers, alpha-1 antitrypsin, it was leading to significance. Unfortunately, it did not meet that 0.05 mark. Confounders were accounted for, such as maternal age, health, wealth, maternal height, sex assigned birth order, and maternal education. And something important to outline is that while these confounders were accounted for when it came to this forest plot, there are so way many more that we could account for, but these were the ones that felt important to us. And then lastly, legume and nut consumption may be associated with reduced intestinal permeability, but more research is needed to confirm this. And then one thing I wanted to mention is I want to thank the Building Belonging program, for helping me be part of this fabulous research here at campus at UC Santa Cruz. Second of all, I want to thank the Audrey Lynn Lab for the kind of, I would say the best 2 years of my life, but one of the best 2 years of my life, honestly. Being involved in research, being connected with all of these fabulous people here on campus is, something I will never forget. And then lastly, I wanted to thank Julian Ellenbeck, who is my graduate mentor. She's been helping me with all of this project, since we started it until now. And thank you.
Next one up is Higgins Fisher and Jason Tang. Their faculty mentor is Tino.
Hi, my And I just want to thank you again, Building the Line program and Steve Owen. And let's just get started. Okay. So our research is based on previous research that we worked on with Steve Owen that looked at the fast food sector and how the minimum wage has impacted local businesses here in Santa Cruz, but also franchisee owners in California. And looking at how the ordinance law that was implemented in April 2024 impacted all those different communities. So we used a mix of qualitative interviews and quantitative data from franchisee owners, and we kind of want to see how everyday people are kind of impacted from these policies. So our research here and then this year is expanding on that into different sectors. So that includes hotel and hospitality workers, specifically in LA and San Diego, and how those people are impacted and what's happening, both of the good and the bad. So I'm gonna lead it to Cadence to continue on.
Thank you, Jason. So our goal with this research was to get a better understanding of how exactly hotels are responding to these changes in minimum wage ordinances. And we conducted this through outreach to hotel associations, labor groups, and hotel operators, as well as companies involved in hospitality automation. And one of the challenges we faced was that direct hotel participation was limited in comparison to what we originally thought. So a lot of our direct first-hand evidence was from companies that were more involved in automation-related industries and organizations. So our findings were that automation wasn't usually framed as an immediate replacement for jobs, but actually the technology helped to reduce repetitive labor, to manage overtime, stabilize staffing, and overall reallocate workers more towards customer-centric tasks. And for example, one of the companies in the robotics industry found that one automated floor cleaning robot can offset around 15 to 30 labor hours in comparison to a human worker. So even though it's not a direct replacement, it definitely helps companies adjust to the in order to compensate for the increases in labor costs. So overall, we concluded that sector-specific minimum wage laws don't just offset wages, but they also change firm incentives when they have to make decisions in relation to technology and labor. So thank you to everyone, and you'll take this opposite.
Next up is Elise Weir, her faculty member, seeking review.
Hello, my name is Elise Weir. Thank you so much to the Building Belonging program, Professor Jenna, and my PhD mentor, Isaac Mazengia, for your support. My project is on public perceptions of offshore wind development in California. So global wind is gaining popularity worldwide as a form of renewable energy. It has grown by 10% each year globally, and the U.S. offshore wind energy has invested over $6.8 billion in the wind industry. There are currently 2 projects in progress across sites in California, one in Humboldt Bay and one in Morro Bay. Through qualitative coding of federal public comments, my work investigates how stakeholder groups conceptualize energy justice regarding this offshore wind development and how their demands for justice have changed over time. I analyzed 357 public comments made by various stakeholder groups to the Federal Bureau of Ocean Management from 2016 to 2022. And this builds on current research about offshore wind and justice implications, and adds offshore wind spatially in California and temporally from 2016 to 2022. This research is in progress, but preliminary takeaways find that public opinions on the most important aspects of justice, these being recognition, procedural, and distributive justice, vary over time as well as based on stakeholder group, which you can see in these graphs on the right. The most represented stakeholder groups in the comments were commercial fishing and aquaculture, unions, immediately local residents, so people who live in Humboldt and Morro Bay, and environmentally concerned citizens, and national environmental and non-governmental organizations. These groups had different perceptions on the importance of recognition, distributive, and procedural justice. In 2018, for example, recognition justice was most important to commercial fishermen and aquaculture, and distributed procedural justice was most important to immediately local residents. However, in 2021, recognition justice continued to be most prevalent for commercial fishing and aquaculture, but national environmental NGOs actually place the highest importance on procedural and distributed justice. Discovering how each of these stakeholder groups think about justice pertaining to offshore wind development and how this has changed over time is key to understanding what fair development and renewable alternative energy would entail and how a just transition can be achieved. Thank you.
Next up is Eric Chantes and Eva Lava, their faculty member Fernando Weidel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Chantes. I'm a fourth year of region in linguistics and
And I'm Ani, I is a fourth year of economics and Latin American History of Studies. This quarter, we have the pleasure of working with the to UC Finance and UC Financial choose to next state.
So our project looks at the relationship between green finance, extractivism, and climate change in Chile. When it comes to Chile, it has become a major player in green finance. In 2019, Chile became the first country in the Americas to issue sovereign green bonds. And in 2022, it became the first country in the world to issue a sovereign sustainability-linked bond.
To understand this, we divided the project into two parts. I focused on looking at index of marine financial instruments issued in Chile between 2013 and 2025. This consisted of green bonds, social bonds, sustainability, lead bonds, sustainability bonds, and sustainability linked loans. So the index helped us see how large and diverse Chile's green finance market has become. It involved sovereign finance with corporate and utility and materials building.
To complement this index, I created a timeline shown in the slideshow. The timeline traces how Chile built the institutional scaffolding that made green finance possible. So this includes the carbon tax, green bond frameworks, public-private coordination, climate law, environmental, social, and governance reporting, taxonomy work, carbon market infrastructure, and sustainability linked on dates. So in the end, green finance is not just about climate solutions. It actively shapes which sectors receive capital, legitimacy, and access to global investors.
My takeaway is that green finance does not emerge naturally. It is built through implementations, regulations, requiring systems, and partnerships made, and Chile's leadership. It shows that the promise of climate investment, but it also raises the important question about whether the energy transition transforms extractivism or it can stay under advantage. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Liliana Mata and Nitia Raguda, faculty mentor is November.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Liliana Mata. I am a psychology major. And for the past 2 quarters, I have had the privilege of working alongside Professor Murdy, Nithya, and our bonus grad student Jazz on a project entitled Improvising in Fields of Constraint, How Feminist Studies at UC Santa Cruz Was Made, Changed, and Unmade. On November 25th, 2024, UCSD Public Affairs announced the disestablishment of the formal Feminist Studies Department. Our exhibit seeks to map the trajectory of the department through materials from special collections and archives. As a team, we highlight the contributions, scholarly pursuits, and lived experiences of the students, faculty, and organizers who have shaped the department over time. Throughout this process, we've conducted hands-on archival research, collaborated with fellow students and faculty, and have had opportunities to engage in stirring interviews which narrated our work. In a period where the art of collaboration and the handling of physical, historical materials are not praised enough, I can say one of the most meaningful parts of this project was recognizing how effortful this history has been. Feminist studies at UC Santa Cruz was not created overnight, but through years of collective organization and scholarship. Given the opportunity to work closely with these materials and alongside people deeply invested in this history, my understanding of the importance of physical research has expanded. These materials and experiences widen our perspectives in ways that digital summaries alone cannot capture. Throughout this journey, I found myself in awe of the archives in which our team studied. I would find myself excitedly sharing the discovered archives and the stories preserved within these collections with my close ones. Looking at the past reminds us of the importance of supporting such departments. Departments that encourage critical thinking, collaboration, and the preservation of histories that might otherwise be discredited or forgotten. Thank you for being here with me today and continue to support feminist organizing and scholarship. I welcome you all to attend our exhibits opening May 27th from 4 to 5 p.m. at the McHenry Library and Special Collections and Archives. Just one last thank you to everyone, the Building Belonging program, and Professor Birdie. Thank you all.
All right, next up, Dominique Cousier and Sharania Dash with faculty members Karen Hall and Georgia West.
Hello everyone, my name is Sharanya and I'm here with Dawn. And we're going to be presenting the Restoring Coastal Grasslands program with our faculty mentors, Georgia Basie and Karen Hall. So within this lab, we work with Karen Hall and helping PhD student Georgia Basie. We were helping to do coastal prairie vegetation surveys post-fire, examining how prescribed fires can influence coastal grasslands. So why is it important? Does fire promote biodiversity or reinforce conservation? Fire is a tool that can be used to promote biodiversity within California's coastal grasslands because grasslands are disturbance dependent, but fire can also allow weeds to take over. Since the colonization of the land we now know as California, indigenous practices of burnings have been suppressed or stopped entirely. With this lab, we hope to research how the reinstatement of burning practices can help restore California's grasslands, which would look like higher rates of biodiversity within the grasslands and less invasive species. This work is a continuation of surveys that were done by Georgia and other assistance pre-burn.
Moving on to some of our specific contributions for this project, both Sharanya and I accompanied Georgia to multiple sites along the California coast over the course of this project. At each site, we would act as scribes to help record data, including plant percent cover, total species richness, along a set of 10 50-meter transects with 5 controlled transects and 5 transects that were burned in previous years for each site. Moreover, we also both participated in virtual data entry following the collection of the data within the field. Our research will ultimately aid land managers in making management decisions regarding the use of fire and prescribed burns in an effort to restore and maintain the native ecosystems of our coastal grasslands across California. It will also help cut down on the number of invasive plants, which pose as one of the most pressing threats to our state's native biodiversity. Our main personal takeaways from our participation in this project were gathering and building our skills in plant identification, analog and virtual data collection and entry, in addition to gaining career-relevant and career-building hands-on research experience. We both like to say, on behalf of both of us, thank you to everyone that's part of the Building Belonging program. Thank you to Georgia BC. Thank you to all our faculty mentor, Dr. Hall. It has been so great working with each other.
Next up is Jerry Allenser, a faculty mentor. He's just in town.
Hi, my name is Brenda Lindsay.
I am a critical race and ethnic studies as well as education, democracy, and justice fourth-year double major here at UC Santa Cruz. I've been working together with Professor Josephine Pham, together with an ethnic studies collaborative team that has been co-led by PhD graduate students and a co-design team, together with a class for masters in credentials and service education teachers here at UC Santa Cruz. We've been leading a research inquiry onto how do pre-service teachers learn to teach ethnic studies across grade levels and disciplinary content areas, and how does mutual attunement to seeing and feeling ethnic studies educational possibilities inform how pre-service teachers learn, imagine, design, and enact racially just and thriving futures in daily classroom life. Here I have some pictures of some of the magazines that have been shared by teachers that come together during these ethnic studies collaborative events, which also work together as classes for these graduate students. Here's also pictured an altar that the students have created collectively in order to really honor and bring their ancestors together into the space whenever we are meeting, as well as some pictures from previous ethnic studies collaborative attempts to really figure out this process of how we really implement and imagine how ethnic studies can be brought into K-12 education. As the overview, collaborative and community spaces are dedicated to developing and imagining the future of K-12 ethnic studies as ethnic studies aspiring educators. And some of the methods that we've used is really co-designing a collaborative inquiry coach to research where we partner with research participants to co-construct knowledge and products that directly impact their own conditions and lives of students and teachers. So some of the people that are participants within the ethnic studies collaborative events are not just the graduate and PhD students that I mentioned, but also some teachers that Dr. Pham has brought into each of these studies to really speak towards what they're doing, whether it be in their studies or together with their students. And so speaking towards the importance of this study, with the current attacks that we've been facing at AB 101 and also just attacks that have been brought upon progressive education throughout America in general, it's really important for us to really create a shift within our pedagogy, not just focusing on trying to have mandates such as AB 101 to bring in ethnic studies, but to really just imagine different ways that it can be implemented as just guiding pedagogy for teachers. My main contributions have really just been data collection, whether it be qualitative research or taking in the notes that our students are making during their meetings, but also one of my main contributions is really taking everything that the students bring, whether it be reflections from their in-service classes and implementing their own teachings, taking in what other folks have brought during other meetings and events, and being able to interpret it in a creative way. So for our final meeting, I will be showing a creative interpretation through curated playlists and DJ set. And yeah. So key takeaways is that ethnic studies is a collaborative effort between students, teachers, and the community. It is a humanizing pedagogy that requires its participants to be prepared to challenge dominant areas within the world around us. So thank you to Building Belongings, and thank you as well to Dr. Joseph Pham and the folks that are present within the ethnic studies collaborative program. Yes.
Thank you. Amazing job. I can share that I was personally impressed by students' deep understanding and very eloquent description of their research projects and not just the tasks that they were assigned, and just the maturity and incredible intellectual ability of the students we have here just proves how important it is to involve the undergraduate students in our research project. So we hope the program is going to continue for many years to come. And none of that would have happened without Evan, who runs the program. I'm sure you all had multiple emails from her.
Hi everybody, I'm Evan Knight, and yes, I email you all the time. I've had the privilege of running this program since it started in 2020, and it's just incredible. It makes me very happy. And I look forward to this event all year. I'm always so impressed by all of you and everything that you said, Galina, and the fact that you can get up here and talk about really complicated research, in 2 minutes, and always just really impressive. Very proud of all of you. And you give me hope for the future. So I always, something just like fills me with joy. Let's see, a couple of things we did are my colleagues. So I also want to say thank you to Jessica in the back. And Vicente out there. And then the Cameron here in the front row. Cameron is our COR intern. So they have all contributed to today's event. So Jessica and Vicente, I think, chose a winning photo, which let's see if it's here. Might have to refresh. There it is. So congratulations, I'll be in touch. We'll get you a gift card. Let's see, I also want to thank all the faculty mentors. I know some of you were here. This program wouldn't be possible without you, so thank you all very, very much for being part of this. Building belonging applications for next year will be coming out soon, probably the end of May, so faculty, you're the ones who apply for this and get the funding for your students, so keep an eye out for that. And students, we have a LinkedIn group. I think I emailed you all about it, but please join our LinkedIn group. It's a way for you to stay in touch now and as you graduate. We often invite you back to things like this if you want to come. We also have another program called Transforming Futures, where you can get funding for summer internships. If you don't know about that, go to our website or contact me. But we're going to be having Transforming Futures, so you can just join that LinkedIn group as well. So just trying to create lots of community there. A huge thank you to our donors who have made this program possible. And we are always fundraising to keep this program going. And so hopefully many, many more years. And let's see. Okay, so now we want to call the students up for a final group photo. If we could get you all up here and a final round of applause. And then when we're done, we're going to go outside. We have food for you, and we can stay and enjoy what you do. Come on up.